Hey everybody, welcome back to the Cozy Corner. It's October 28th, and I got Andy back on the show with me to discuss some changes that we've had, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there really has been a lot of changes.
All right. Well, let's go through them.
As of yesterday, I got my GED. Hold on. Oh, Mr. Drum.
As of yesterday, you got your GED.
As of yesterday, yep. Big congratulations.
Bravo, dude. Seriously. So, how does that feel?
It makes me feel like anything's possible now. Because that was one of the biggest doubts I had about myself, and I believe that I was not capable of obtaining my GED. I thought I didn't have the mental capacity to do so,
Yeah.
or the knowledge for that matter.
Well, and I think, we get ourselves in that trap where we convince ourselves that we can't do something, and
it is a slippery slope, man.
It is.
Like, once you're on it, it's hard to get out.
Well, you can manifest good or you can manifest bad.
You
know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And, I knew you had to come down here because, honestly, you and I have always been really close. We dealt with a lot of stuff together when we were kids.
Yeah, we had a wild childhood, man.
Yeah, and I love looking I love looking at all the old pictures and seeing you like looking over my shoulder in the pictures, man. You've always kind of like hung out with me and stuff, and it's like me and Crystal had always talked about you needed to come down here,
Mm-hmm.
and we just anywhere we were, even when we were in Washington State, and Mom was away dealing with her stuff. We wanted to bring you there, but we knew that you weren't ready to you didn't have the mindset to handle growing up yet.
Right.
And then we came up and saw you, and I was like, let's go. And I knew it was a good thing to do, and through that, kind act, it gave
me the fuel I needed to do what I had to do. So
yeah, and
so then that cycle just kind of continues,
Well, you could have come down here, and I could have said, and I did say, you need to be working on your life, whatever that may look like. I didn't, rat hole you into going to get your GED.
No.
We talked and, talked through it, but here you are, man. You got GED. What's next?
Next, well, as I was already finishing my GED, I had already signed up for John Tyler Community College, which is a really great college from what I understand.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, I get an email after I sign up saying, "Hey, you got accepted," and I'm like, "Oh,
yeah."
So,
but your last GED test was a little extra excruciating because what if you failed that last test?
Then I would have had to wait until the fall of the next school year rather than being able to go this coming spring. So that gave me that extra initiative, like, hey, man, just buckle down and get it out, know?
And speaking of changes too, man, like, I am super proud of you. And I don't say a whole lot of that, but for the first time in a long time, I have the sense of pride outside of just, myself and maybe the girls. And it's just like, I can be happy for you now that I'm happy for myself, right? That I'm growing and changing just like you.
Yep.
Just feels good, man. It feels good knowing that you're here and you're doing good and that you're about to get the hell out of my house.
Well, wasn't that, that was big proof what happened since I've come down here, that it was a great idea for it to happen. Or even better yet, that it just plain old should have happened.
It lined up. It lined up where we were in a place and you were in a place where we could handle growth together. And now you're talking about leaving, and me and Crystal were talking about it's like, we don't want you to leave, Andy. We love you.
But the good news is I'll only be a couple minutes away.
Right
short
down
drive
the road.
away, yeah.
Yep. So that's exciting, dude.
It's cool, man. I can't wait to have a little sleepovers at my place now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll bring a little sleeping bag.
Yeah. We'll have bean bags and shit.
Yeah, one of those. One of those things that remember. Oh, how great were those pajamas that Mom used to give us? The onesie pajamas, like,
oh, dude,
they sell them for adults now.
Like the footy pajamas, yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
It's hard to find like the actual footy pajamas. Like, you'll find the onesie.
Yeah, well, especially for adult males, know.
Yep. I want a pair so bad.
I know, but yeah, man, we're gonna change, dude. We change all the time, and sometimes it's a lot more uncomfortable than others. Like, I have talked to you about this, like, feeling of like being out of my skin a little bit, and, through some journaling and some, kind of searching, I realized like even my own mortality. I've been thinking about stuff like that because I'm to the point now where like I am through the weeds of all those heavy emotions, and I've got a lot of coping skills. Like Dad's helped me with songs and some tips and reading a lot of books. One of them is called "You Are Here." That's the title of the book, and it's a very simple strategies for developing a mindfulness practice.
Right.
And he says, if you are alive and breathing, you're better off than not. You're doing good. You're doing more
Right.
good than bad.
It's like a perspective shift.
Yeah.
It takes you out of seeing all the negative, 10 negatives of things instead of looking like at the one or two positive that could just completely change your entire outlook on what's going on.
Yeah. And then somebody I've been talking to, just outside of the podcast, but we're just talking through some, potential in the future, she even mentioned it the other day. And it's so funny because I've been thinking it like I need to meditate every day.
Right.
And I want to bring awareness to meditation and mindfulness because that's something that I've had to incorporate into my daily practices. And I think a lot of people are starting to see the value in that.
Yep. I can absolutely agree.
Yeah.
So let's cut all that real quick, and I want to hear about your changes.
Yeah, so, like, we're all changing in the house, but me specifically, it's, the last episode that I did, the sobriety episode, really kind of, like, made me look at myself in that episode and have confidence that, obviously, that's me being recorded, but that I'm that guy now.
Yeah.
I'm not filled with anxiety and nerves and the pressures of all the things that I hated because now all I do are the things that I love. And it gave me space. But it also gave me space to think about my relationships and the complexities of shedding alcohol, and also, I'm 38, 38 and a half, 39. You just start to slow down a little bit as you get older, and it creeps up on you too. And it's just like, bam, it hits you, and you're like, I just feel a little bit older than I used to. Especially once you're mindful and accepting that change, instead of like fighting it. Yeah,
man, just playing it cool. You know? That's kind of that's kind of like the groove you fall into, in your 40s when you're at a good mental state like you are right now. You tend to just be like,
yeah, I'm okay.
You play Joe Cool, dude. You're just sitting there. Nothing's bothering you.
Well, and I'll tell you, it's odd that I'm okay in one of the most turbulent, like, couple of years of my life, finding sobriety, having an understanding of my relationship with God, healing with my family, going through all of these emotional turmoils, because one thing that alcohol does that I talk about is it veils your reality, and it helps you not have to actually confront emotions. And I have 38 years of, well, not 38 years. I haven't been an alcoholic ever since I was born, but at the cozy corner,
we never know.
At the cozy corner, there's no telling.
Yeah.
I mean,
they were washing our baby bottles with the beer mugs, we were getting something.
I think we were a little, we're kind of gypsies, man, in that regard. I kind of think of it. I love the way that we grew up, and it wasn't always perfect, but we were really free. And Mom never held us back or said we couldn't do anything.
But I'll tell you what, man,
neither did Dad, dude.
For as young as we are, man, we've been through a lifetime of hell.
Yeah, we as the show progresses, man, there's certain aspects of our past that you and I will hold dear, but there's that the beauty that the bar was. It was a beauty, man. It was a great place, but man, it was love. It was a lot of love, but a lot of rough times, man. And a lot of.
Well, I mean, it was rough. Time. It was 90s, dude. It was a tough part of town.
What was your memories of like? Well, let's just close out the talk on what we were saying about just where I'm at, and let's close all that out. All I'm saying is like, I'm just understanding that I can be successful without all my old ideas of being successful.
Well, I see it this way. Sometimes I think you say things with the intention of it sounding shorter, and I don't know how to explain it. I totally lost where I was going to go with that.
I think what you're trying to say is you keep telling me that I worry about talking too much.
No, it's...
You told me that the other day.
You only say so much. You actually want somebody to ask you before you fully open up about what you're feeling. So that's why, while I had you on here, I really wanted to ask you because you ask me all the time, man. I didn't get a chance to ask you.
Yeah, change is uncomfortable, dude. And you posted something. What I said was it said something about like shedding skin, and that when you change, you shed skin.
Yeah, that was it was a Buddhist.
There's
thing.
a bunch of those really cool sayings. There's another one that says it's not until we move that we notice the chains that held us back.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of stuff. But it's more than that, man. Change is just it's more of like I said. It's like being a hermit crab.
Yep.
And you take your shell off, and you're going to your next shell. And luckily, we have a lot of other hermit crabs out here, family members and friends and all the people that we've started to mention on the show that are protecting us while we, move into our new shell emotionally, physically, mentally, emotionally. What's that from? Is that from Get Into the Greek?
No. It just...
Get your mic,
bro.
Said
it. I think you just said it, and it just sounded funny.
No, it's from a movie. He's like physically, mentally, emotionally.
That might have been from Get Into the Greek.
I love that movie, dude. How cool is Russell Brand? Have you seen some of the stuff he's putting out?
He's
shaking the cage a little.
Yeah.
He's shaking the cage, man. He's wanting
and
people
he ain't afraid, man. He'll call you out.
You move it towards... There we go. That's better.
Yeah, he'll call you out, man.
I know. Anybody. Governments, big corporations. And then the other day he posted... You know what? I'll put a link to it. I think I'm allowed to put a link to it. I'll down below.
Yeah, dude, definitely, man. People need to hear him out, man.
Yeah, it's just it gives you a perspective shift, and it's not always what you want to hear or the way you want to hear it, but he's just eloquent,
Yep.
But he talks about the Great Resignation and why people are quitting their jobs, and you're starting to see it in the news and everything. They're starting to try to cover it up with other shortages or people afraid of the Delta variant and all. But it's starting to be talked about, And Crystal and I, before we quit our jobs as a part of this movement, had no idea that the movement existed.
Right.
We didn't know, but we were really tired of being treated like crap at work. So we found an exit plan, an exit strategy, and that's what we're implementing now. And it's great, it's great. And I feel free again.
Well, yeah. I mean, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, but that's what he was talking about, dude. He was talking about this. Russell Brand. He was bringing it up, man, and he's just somebody that we need to listen to, because
I've caught a couple of his episodes, man. He's pretty freaking sharp.
When he was an alcoholic, he was on all kinds of drugs, and
he was a sex addict. He was
addict. They even joked about him doing yoga too much.
Yep.
Remember, in Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yep.
I love that movie. Remember the play with the puppets?
Dude,
I want to do puppets.
Was something. How fun would that be if we did that, man?
I have a puppet that I started somewhere. I used to have all kinds of crazy hobbies, but
a puppet.
It's just a foam head right now. It's like some wood pieces for a mouth, but yeah, I made one. I made a puppet because I thought it'd be fun to on the podcast do some fun puppetry and some, maybe claymation or something. So I'm kind of starting to look at stuff like that. It's a lot of, but yeah. So I've made a part of a puppet. And
that's kind of fun once we start getting into that. Start and want to do our own animation and everything.
We'll see.
I think
we'll see. It's probably way down the line, but it just depends
but it's something to mess around with. And
yeah. I mean, because now we're just getting into the vibe of the editing. You know what I mean? And that's a whole other beast, and I want to teach you after this episode.
Okay. I'm on board, man.
So
dude, I've been digging what we're doing since day one. So
well, I know that. I mean, you've been. It's just kind of crazy that you've been a part of it. I mean,
yeah, man. It feels good to be part of it. It feels good to be a part of something.
Well, it wasn't even on purpose. It was just like, hey, come down here and live with us. And I thought the show was just going to be me and Lily, and then it was like, no, Andy needs to be in there too. So. But what happens after? What are you going to college for, by the way?
Business administration.
Why business?
Well, I want to have a better knowledge of how all of it works. I want to know the lingo. I want to know everything like the back of my hand, dude. And
why is it interesting to you? Because that's an important question that I wanted to ask you, and I haven't asked you.
Well, because
why? Hold on. Why is this is a mistake that people make? Is they say, well, that's what I want to do, and they don't. I want to know why you like business specifically, that you would want to learn about it.
You know, I have a feeling, and I've been told before that, that I'm not just meant to be somebody in the herd. I'm meant to be pushing the herd. Not even to sound egotistical or anything, but just I feel like there's more to me, and I believe that I have what it takes to have leadership.
That
And
explains why you want to be a leader, and I
yeah,
do see that in you. I do see a leader in you. Take the leader away. You can be a leader in anything. You can be a
yep,
leader in the doctor field. Why business? What draws you towards business? Just think.
man, you got me on that one.
There's something there.
I mean, there's got to be.
What draws
I
you to
gotta
music? Why do you want to make music?
because of the way music makes me feel, man. I just I hear music, and no matter how bad of a mood I'm in, it can completely stop me from feeling that way. And
Do you think business can do that for you? And maybe you have a pretty good example of how somebody could see that there's art in music, but there's also art in business. Maybe somebody taught you that. It's my art. Business is my art. Music is your art.
mm-hmm.
Be careful when you choose your degree. I think you'd be a great businessman, but is it what you love? Because I love it, dude. I love taking all the things that I've learned from the Marine Corps, growing up, watching a bar being run. I mean, Dad was a tattoo artist, started it in our basement. Mom helped run the bar. She helped with the staffing and getting the orders in. Grandpop was at the bar. He owned the bar. My mom was just basically the manager. Aunt Patty worked there. Before that, we have business people all the way back. Business is in our blood.
Right.
And it's the way that I see the world because everything is a transaction. That's why I love business. And if you don't love business and if you don't see it as something that you can create and sculpt and mold into something great, then maybe business is not for you. I know you see something amazing and you see somebody painting here, but if it's not what you love, it's not the right canvas.
That's a good point.
So what's your art?
My art is music.
Bingo. Get the hell out of that business class. Change your major to music, man. And that's me. Now, if you have an interest in business, okay, maybe it's something with music and a minor in business. You have a lot of things that you're also going to learn through your classes about who you are and what your interests are. I never thought I'd be a businessman, but I love it. I might as well be, a musician.
Mm-hmm.
Find what you love. I grew up and paid attention to those business people. Mm-hmm. Dad continues to run a successful business, in Reading on Penn Street, dude.
Yep.
He's a part of that community there, man. And that's the magic of where we grow up. You heard the music, I saw the business. How cool is that?
That is pretty cool.
And with all that music at the bar next door, I used to sit for hours with my headphones on because, dude, how that music over there was like...
It was ridiculous,
It was just a part of your life, man. It would shake the glasses and the...
Yep.
And you'd be sleeping. I would actually wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning when they shut the jukebox off. That woke me up.
Yeah, dude. I had a couple of those times, too. But I'll tell you what, sometimes I was just going to say the music would put me to sleep. Like... That's why I have to sleep with a sound machine, dude.
I'm the same way.
I have to hear noise.
Yep. But I'm finding that through what we talked about earlier, through the mindfulness and meditation, that there's other ways, because now that I think about it, noise is still noise. But the problem is that freaking crazy cats are jumping around the place all the night.
Yeah, so you automatically think, oh my God, ghost.
Yeah.
Somebody broke into the house.
I know. I'm always on edge. But again, where we came from, you had to be on edge. You know what I mean?
And people are always like, why are you like that? Why do you sleep so light? And I was like, I kind of had to, bro.
Yeah. Like we had that, there were certain parts of the house, man, that always worried me. I'm not going to name them.
Above the bar?
Yeah, dude. Could you imagine? I mean, Grandpa was robbed a couple times.
Yeah.
What else has been on your mind?
Yeah, man, that's actually, it was a pretty cool perspective, man. Thank
Hey,
you.
do what you love, bro. I
Yeah.
mean, you want to get into mixing and stuff like that? Go do that. Do what you love. Don't force it. Go with the flow of things. You know?
I'm gonna take it into heavy consideration. Seriously, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you can even talk to your advisor, and they might actually guide you in the right direction in that regard, And,
Right.
and you can even go in and tell them, hey, these are my interests, and, this is what I'm looking at, what I would like to do. And they might even guide you,
Yep.
So, because maybe even the entrepreneurial track instead of the administration track is appropriate for you. So, it's worth exploring.
Yeah, good. Dude, I'm glad we did this.
Yeah. Are you done?
Huh?
You done? 22 minutes?
Yeah.
Tired?
Yeah.
We're still getting over everything.
I'm still drained from
I know.
My emotions are still like all over the place from finding out. Dude, 15 years of doubting myself changed in 3 months.
I know.
A 3-month change in a 15-year habit of I can't do it. I can't do it. That's a lot to take in.
And it's a lot to take in, and it's a lot to take in all at once, man. So
Yeah.
people do this slow, and me and Crystal grabbed you out of that world, and then you came and just started catching right back up with us, like even acknowledging, like, man, I have a long way to go to get up to where they are, even.
Yeah.
But you acknowledge it. You're here. You're
and
present.
I'm ready to work.
I know you are. Well, you talk about your license.
I wasn't going to talk about it, but you know what?
I mean, it's out there on Facebook.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it's nothing to be shameful about,
No, okay. Well, I just sat out here, I put myself out last week and talked
Yep.
about my sobriety.
Yep.
It was pretty hard to do. So I think you can talk about your license, man.
Absolutely, man. I'm more than happy
Good
to.
for you. Go ahead.
Yep. So I went to go get my license. And
excited? You were pumped?
Oh yeah, dude. You
had all your paperwork?
Had it all ready to go, And bam, brick wall, I walk in and they said, "Oh, well, they still have."
Well, you didn't just walk in.
I sat
Go ahead.
3 hours. Had to sit there.
Why?
Oh, because the place was packed.
Yeah, because nobody can get any services, understaffed.
And
COVID.
you can't get them.
They haven't, dude. They still haven't got DMV back up to snuff after
Yep.
COVID. But anyway, so you go there. You have me drop you off at 7:30 in the morning, and you wait 3 hours, and you get up to the window. What do they say?
They said, well, Pennsylvania still has you on the National Registry as suspended. So I'm like, okay, so what do we do now? And then she was like, well, you got to call them and clear that up, have them take you off the National Registry as suspended so we can do the transfer here. And I was like, okay. So I grabbed my paperwork. I walked out. I'm sitting outside for like 5 minutes. I'm like, I'm fuming, dude. I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? So call PennDOT. Was on the phone for about 40 minutes before I even got a hold of anybody. And they tell me that I had a term suspension on my license, which basically means you have to serve that term before you're eligible to get your license.
Right.
No matter, even if you pay the restoration and everything, you still have to serve the term. So, my usual self, I started twirling down, dude. I'm freaking out.
So explain freaking out. What were you thinking about?
I was like, what am I going to do? This is, I'm thinking in my head that I'm screwed for 4 months because goals that seemed like they were right there now just got pushed back. You know what I mean? So I'm like, it's out of my control. I can't do anything. So I called mom, bitching away,
You were bitching away?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I was.
She was just listening to you.
Yeah. And she goes, well, Andy, she goes, even if they made the mistake of not telling you about your term, she was like, ultimately, it wouldn't have happened if you didn't do it. And I was like...
Didn't get yourself suspended, you mean?
Yep.
Through just negligence of your license.
Yep.
And
she's like, I'm not going to pity you. And I'm like, thank you.
What did that do to you?
That I opened my eyes up. I was like, okay.
You
so it's my fault,
right?
Yep. I changed my perspective.
Because you were mad at the DMV.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
But then after I got that out, then I twirled down on I'm still screwed.
Yeah.
And and then I was like, well, it's out of my control. And then I stopped and I said, if it's out of my control, what am I freaking out about?
Well, and what do we talk about down here is shifting one of our skills in the businesses. You know, we're really good at, we've honed the skill of shifting the way that we look at things.
Mm-hmm.
And like, good for mom, you know, for just making you see that there's certain things you're going to have to own, because that
Yep.
is sobriety, bro.
Yep.
That is sobriety too, which you're coming out of. That's part of, you know, I mean, that's the truth. You haven't drank in it's been a while, a months, right? I
4 months.
Yeah. So,
And no cigarettes.
right. So, like, you did not know what, you've been here 3 months, right?
4 months.
You didn't know 4 months ago that you'd ever have a GED.
No.
And then you got down here and the plan was like, well, let's get you your GED by next year. Right? Not at the end of the year. We said by summer of next year, I think
Yep.
we talked about. And then you start getting your GED and it's like, hey, Andy got his GED in 2 months, and then what? Then it's like, then okay, I'm ready for college. So yeah, you've done a lot in a really short period of time that you should be super proud of. And so have we. And I'm hoping that, you know, let's end the show. I'm hoping that you guys are out there doing a lot of changing and a lot of hard work too. And when I say changing, you know, even if you're still like not, if you're drinking, let's talk about drinking. If you're drinking, acknowledge some feelings from time to time. Just, you know, gosh, drinking is so hard, man. It's hard to
It
talk
is.
about. But I
It
will tell
is.
you, I'm not going to explain to anybody else what to do. I'll explain what I
Yeah.
did.
Absolutely, man. There's some people that, you know, they are capable of
Yeah.
slowing it down and then changing their mentality.
Yeah. Well, and that's something that you, my doctor, and Crystal have all told me. Like, not everybody is you.
Yep.
But I can at least explain my story and explain.
Absolutely.
So I'm not going to presume to explain to anybody how to get better.
See, my thing is with me right now is I'm not trying to avoid drinking. I'm just
ain't
I'm
happening.
not in the mood.
No, we're working too hard. You're working too hard.
Yeah.
You know.
That's my thing. Like once my brain gets working, a lot of habits tend to go out the window.
Yeah. I think I find solace like in my work. I find peace in when I work, you know.
I haven't desired a cigarette since I stopped.
Yeah. Well, same with drinking, because you know, we handled shit.
I still have the nightmares though, I'm not going to lie.
Of
The cigarette nightmare,
what's that?
where I'm smoking in my dream and I wake up pissed off at myself because I thought I smoked.
Yeah.
Yep.
You could probably even taste them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wild.
I smoked a long time ago.
But I don't crave it.
And it's so funny because I forgot the feeling of like wanting a cigarette, because I used to be there, you know. I used to be like that, but you know,
It's crazy
man.
to think that I felt like I needed them all the time.
I know.
It doesn't even bother me.
Yeah. All right, man, let's wrap it up.
All right, dude.
And I hope everybody likes it. We're trying to keep this to around 30 minutes. You know, we had a lot of stuff to talk about in our first couple of episodes, but now we're at a point where it's like, okay, let's get some focused content here. So, you know, if you haven't subscribed, you know, I tried to subscribe and to another channel, and I had to actually like log in and get subscribed and all that stuff. It was a pain in the butt because you have to like set up a Gmail.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
You know what I mean? But you know, if you have the time, just over there by Andy, here, let me throw this. Subscribe, you know, ball right down, boom, dunker, rebound. You know, hit the subscribe button, and over here we got this little like button in these help, and then of course if you have any questions, please. Those questions really do help me. And I'll stay engaged with you or Andy or whoever, you know, and like, everybody keep your heads up and, you know, keep loving life and just keep fighting, keep fighting through and keep having fun, baby.
Stay beautiful, everybody.
Take it easy.
Ryan Little.